We've got celebrity trainer and founder of Training Mate Luke Milton in to discuss what it's like dating in a different continent, how training and fitness go hand in hand with love, and how to be successful in business and in love. All tonight while we sip on our nightcap, a tall blonde Australian. Tonight on It's Complicated.
You're listening to It's Complicated with your hosts Jennifer Golden and Lauren Leonelli, coming to you live from the AfterBuzz TV studios in Los Angeles, California.
Hello, master daters. Welcome back for another episode of It's Complicated.
The struggle is real when you're dating in the city.
I'm Jen.
And I'm not Jen. And I had a problem swallowing my drink there, but I'm definitely still not Jen.
No, but I'm glad you're also okay.
I'm okay. It's the more drink you drink, the better you are.
Right.
It's our new motto.
Yeah, and it's a celebration because we're here and we're alive.
That's positive.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Thanks for that. Okay, guys, we are so happy here with our drinky poo because we are discussing with our guest what it's like to start over in a new city and how dating and fitness go hand in hand, and how to be successful in business and in love with our celebrity trainer, our favorite celebrity trainer, Luke Milton. We're going to get him in here shortly, and we're going to chat from down under, over the top, and then back under again. And I don't know.
That's a lot of places.
I can't.
It's a lot of places we have to go today.
I was going to say something about shrimp on the Barbie. I shouldn't.
But we'll save those.
I really
we'll sprinkle them in. It's fine. I can't live without those. So, guys, so that you learn a little bit about Luke before we bombard him with all the questions. His fitness career began as a professional rugby player in Australia, where he was lucky enough to play for his country. After retiring from rugby, he founded Training Mate in Sydney, Australia, and quickly established himself as a leader in the fitness community. He's now a celebrity trainer, as we mentioned, here in Los Angeles, where you obviously should go to train celebrities.
Duh.
Because they're here. We grow them on trees.
We do.
And stuff. And now they're all in a lot of trouble. But
They
anyway,
are totally in a lot of trouble.
kind of makes you want to be not a celebrity right now, because like then you're not in trouble.
Because
like you're
they
not
all
Jen,
are.
and we're not in trouble.
And also, like, I'm pretty sure we can.
Anywho.
I'm not going to interrupt Milty's lovely intro.
Yes, let me finish my speech.
Yes.
Here we are.
Yes, right there.
He lives by the belief that a healthy lifestyle is a combination of physical, social, and mental health. He is so excited to bring the Aussie approach to fitness to WeHo, and even happier to bring the short rugby shorts.
Yeah, and he wears the short shorts during the workout.
I know.
And it's a risk. That's a risk.
It's a risk, but I feel as though if anyone can do it, the Australians can, and they're all cute and they band together, and I have to understand how they find each other. Like, do they send out a smoke signal and then they all know go to Training Mate or go to EP and LP or go to Evelyn? Like, they all go there on, like, Sunday and wear white or something.
They all go to certain places, and they, like, know where they are.
I'm telling it's either a
They
scent,
put out a pheromone, I
maybe,
think.
or they have a Facebook group we're not invited to. There's something that goes on. We're
going to ask Milty what that is, because we have a lot of single women who want a strapping Australian that may or may not murder them, because Australians are a little murdery.
Yeah,
It's where it all happens.
Right.
So,
because weren't the bad English people sent there, and then they got funny accents, and then
listen,
made friends with
who doesn't like
kangaroos?
a bad boy? Who doesn't like a bad boy?
Can't think of anyone.
See?
Sorry.
I knew it.
Yep.
But before we get into all of that, we are going to sip on our nightcap, our tall Australian blonde, because after a super, super sweaty workout, nothing is better than taking off all your clothes and indulging in a nice, tall, delicious Australian blonde to help take the edge off. So we're drinking Foster's because it's Australian for beer.
Yeah,
and it's a big one because we like them big.
We do.
Yeah.
So I was just at South by Southwest for 24 hours.
That's right.
I'm tired.
Yeah, why? Why are you so tired?
Because it was 24 hours of traveling, an event that was really fun. I went to the Now Apocalypse premiere party that Stars was
Why does
throwing.
that sound backwards?
Because there is something called Apocalypse Now, but this is not that. This is Now
It's like
Apocalypse.
the Yoda version?
This is like the reptilian, like sexual fluid, weed smoking version for the 2019s.
Okay, that's fun. Were there any cute boys there that you saw?
Not at the event itself, because it was like a super small, intimate event with like just the talent and stuff like that. But like walking the streets of Austin, I was like, huh, okay, these people are definitely taller, so I could get behind this.
Is that a thing in Austin?
I think it's like they eat their Wheaties or corn husks or meat products. Something happens where they grow taller.
Barbecue. It's the barbecue.
Yeah. So, and I had that. I had barbecue.
Yes, you did, but
And-
only chicken.
Right,
Which
because
is
obviously
just so
I don't.
sad.
Oh, even the guy cutting the meat was like yelling at me. He's like, "Really? You came all the way to Austin? You're eating chicken?" I'm like, "You serve chicken? Are you insulting your own place?" But like, yeah, he gave me shit, and I was like, "Give me the chicken." He's like, "Are you single? That's why." And I'm like, "That's mean. Give me my chicken."
He was like the nail lady. That's like,
Yeah.
why are you
Like so judgy. But then he also asked me like if I was really single and like if I wanted to have his phone number, and I was like, "I'm gonna go eat my chickie." Leave me
Oh
alone.
boy.
Anyway, it was a lot at once. Had a great time. Came back. I have a date this weekend.
With who?
Somebody that was at your engagement party.
Yes.
Not who you think it is.
Oh.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm going on a date. It'll be really great. And then I have another one on Tuesday with a different human.
I love it.
Hope you're all not listening.
Dating like it's her job or listening.
Complicated.
And yes. So the wedding planning is still happening. Trying to think about possible places, maybe Santa Barbara, maybe Catalina, maybe we don't know. But I discovered that the less time there is in between now and the wedding, it's the less stress for me. I'm like stressed just talking about it right now.
So you're
it's like
saying you
making
want to
me-
rush it? Or
I'm
what
going
are
to
you
start
saying?
sweating. Not rush it, but I just feel like it's like you're a sitting duck just waiting for the date to come, and like you can be doing so many other things, and you're just sitting here waiting, and like, does it really need to take this long? And like, then the anxiety builds because you know how I am. I'm like anxious all the time.
Which reminds me, I brought you weed mints.
I actually have some, but thank you though.
Yes.
And so, but that
what
does
I
help,
do.
by the way, you guys, if you do have like some anxiety issues or whatever, and you're going on a date and that like maybe affects you, try some
Or
stuff
you're
out.
planning a wedding.
Or you're planning a wedding, or any stage of the relationship you need to talk to somebody and break up with them. Whatever it is making you nervous, try a little bit of maybe some CBD or maybe a little with the THC in it. It's natural.
They equate it to like 1 or 2 glasses of wine, which obviously we drink on this show. So if it's not like going to put you over the edge, it's just
No.
If maybe you're like more into this kind of thing than like taking a Xanax, like we're not going to push drugs on you in any way, but like pick your poison.
Pick your poison. And this all helps with everything. So anyway, also, side note, I've heard of like 2 people in, my life that I know that are like going through some breakups. And I was like, man, and it's kind of, some of the stories seem like a little dramatic, or they're just like the relationship's really dramatic or the breakup's really dramatic. And I'm just like, man, I don't have that. Like, it just made me very thankful. Nobody's relationship is perfect, and nobody is without a problem. I'm not claiming that in any way, shape, or form. But I'm so glad that my relationship, because I've been there before, has not like a crazy emotional roller coaster of like drama and unnecessary shit. And it's like, it just feels nice to sometimes think about those things, like to be grateful for those
Perspective,
things. I'm just really happy. And I still feel like I mean, I don't think it's ever going to go away, but I feel like I still get really excited when I see him. Like when he comes home, it feels like from the first time, like when we used to be just beginning, and it's like you get those butterflies. Like I still feel like that, and I just really hope that doesn't ever go away.
I hope too.
We're not married yet, so
No, but
he's also really annoying.
He's also here. But aside from those, small facts, note to all of you listening and watching. If you have a very dramatic relationship, getting married is not going to make it better.
No.
In fact, you might want to go the other direction or seek a lot of help before you
Getting
go in that direction.
married or having a child,
Right.
maybe just don't. Maybe no.
No.
Maybe don't have that child and then pay people to Photoshop that child's face into the rowing team so they can get into a school that you can already just fucking pay to get in anyway. So I don't understand.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
So don't do all those things that are dramatic and dumb when you can avoid those things and be boring and not dumb. Just kidding.
Yeah, no,
Not
it's
boring,
not
but
boring, but
a
just,
life of less complication.
yeah, I mean,
whenever
it's
you
always
can
there.
avoid
It
it
is
is
always there.
nice.
But yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's my grateful spiel.
I like it, and everyone should be grateful. Today, I am grateful for
Being alive, you said.
I am. That's a given.
It's just
trying
so-
to think of like something new. I guess it's kind of like the same as the stuff yesterday.
Well, that's okay.
Today I have Foster's. That's different.
Yeah,
So
that's
thankful
different.
for
You get
this.
an Australian celebration.
I love Australian
And it says it's
celebrations.
celebrated worldwide, so whatever. And it's a big
Obviously.
one.
Exactly, guys. So, when you take his class, he'll teach you to squat, stick out your bum, and pop your chest proud like a social media influencer, all while making it look easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Welcome to the studio, our training mate, who we all want to date, Luke Milton.
Thanks, girls. I don't want to ruin the show by talking.
I
You guys are on a
know.
roll.
Shit. Maybe we
Well,
should just keep going. You don't really need to be here.
No,
Who
but also,
invited him?
I don't know. Also, just make sure
Exactly.
to speak in English so
I
we
know,
all
I'm gonna
understand
try.
you.
I'll slow right down because I want to slow down to hear all about your dating life, Jen. It sounds
Oh, well, what would you
amazing.
like to
there's
ask
like-
her?
Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday.
I know. I mean, also, honestly, if you know of anyone else, let's add them to the list.
Well, there's Sunday in there in between, isn't there? And a Monday as
On
well.
a
so
Friday, and
we'll get ya.
tomorrow's
We'll
Thursday,
get ya.
so we're all
Don't sell
paying
yourself short
attention.
tonight.
No.
Australians are quick. We're good.
Are you
I'll be
really?
here in
More
a second.
about that. Yeah. Why is that? What makes you quick and good?
You know, I don't know about the good part, but
No.
I don't know. I think this Australians just don't take life as seriously as other people do. So I think everyone's quite spontaneous and spare of the minute, and just they're up for anything. So that's why everyone gravitates towards Los Angeles. I feel like that's the city in a nutshell.
Is it like a playground for you guys? Like, do you feel like, well, if we're not
Yeah.
going to be in Australia, let's go there because also it's not that serious.
Yeah, maybe. Look, I think the big thing, the weather obviously doesn't do any problems for the LA and attracting people to LA, but I would think Los Angeles is probably the closest relative city to a Sydney, for instance. And I think that a lot of people sort of congregate over here because you've got the attraction of the larger population and bigger opportunities, but has kind of got an Australian undertone, and there's so many of us over here now that start proposing a little Australian name around somewhere.
But by the way, it feels like a Mayflower came over and brought you all at
Yes.
one time, or you
yeah.
came in waves, or someone was like, Shh, you know what? I've heard of a great land
Yeah.
called Los Angeles. You too should come. And you call
It
each
seemed
other
like
and then you
all
come.
of a sudden. Maybe I'm wrong, but it
No,
seemed
you're
like
right.
all of a sudden.
I first moved, I did a year in New York in like the end of 08, 09, and I was like news in a primary school. There was no Australians around. And then when we moved to LA about 6.5, 7 years ago, progressively each year there became more and more Australians. So now it's just like a dime a dozen, this accent, but yeah, it's getting
It
thicker.
totally is, and I feel like we go to certain bar. Back in my gallivanting single days, we'd go to different bars, and like one or two bars, it's like an Australian bar. Remember when we went to Australia Day
Yes, that's
Yes.
what I was saying.
at
EPL.
EPLP?
26th of January. It's great.
What the fuck is that?
That's just like, it's kind of like our Memorial Day / 4th of
And
July.
no
but, yeah.
other city but LA celebrates it probably because no
New
other.
York.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a few Aussies in New York. We ventured over there. The ones that really want to get away from
I mean, how
reality.
different is that for you? But you were already in a relationship
Yeah.
when you were in New York. So
Yeah.
first, let's start by saying, how is dating? And you said you guys are a little quicker because you don't take things as seriously. But how are other things different? Dating in Australia or dating in LA, like the things that stand out about the dudes or the girls or
Look, the accent doesn't hurt anyone over here, right? Girl, guy, or otherwise. So that's one of the things that every Australian leads with, sort of makes up for other insecurities. But
Wait, what other
basically,
insecurities?
lack of education, lack of drive.
That's not a
40-year-old acting. It's great.
oh well, that's anybody here though.
amazing.
It's not just an
People
Australian.
generally
No, it's great.
move here and are those things anyway, other than the accent.
Yeah, so the accent just evens you out. It's great, but
I think it actually sets you ahead.
It does
Like,
set you
let's
ahead.
say that like we didn't have the education and came here to be actresses and like whatever else you said that might be an insecurity.
But go nuts as
But if
actresses.
we don't have accents, so
But
like
put it
we
on.
suck.
Go for it.
Yeah, but we
I reckon
have-
I've met half the Australian population here aren't really from Australia.
Really?
What do you mean?
Are they frauds?
Some of the accents are a bit dubious.
What? Milky, shut your mouth.
I'm from Idaho. Just kidding. But
How-
yeah, it's,
Wait, how do you, okay, hold on. Now, what if a girl goes on a date and she's on a dating app and she sees this guy that looks Australian, says he's Australian, and then we're on
What's
the
an
date?
Australian look?
No, but whatever. Whatever. Says he's Australian. He's got pictures with kangaroos and stuff.
Oh, okay,
and then,
that gives it away.
and he goes to Training Mate.
And he hangs out
obviously.
at Outback all the time with a bloomin' onion.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, that's not Outback. That's Chili's. But
No, Outback.
Outback.
oh, it is. Oh.
See?
whatever.
Jen's
I
got it.
know one thing, and it is where to get a bloomin' onion.
But not a steak. And
Not there
okay,
for that.
but how would you then? Is there a way to tell like that accent doesn't sound legit? Because then
Sniff each
this
other out,
person
huh?
could be a serial killer. They're already lying to me on this date. They're not
Yep.
who they say they are.
So many hoops to jump
Red
through
flag.
to avoid death.
It really, and from the introduction, apparently all Australians are serial killers.
Well, there's a lot of you. Let's
Wolf
talk.
Creek. Oh,
Let's talk.
scary.
Listen,
facts.
if you're not Russell Crowe, you might be someone escaping the law.
I mean, there's
if you're
a
not
lot of
Russell
murder.
Crowe.
Yeah, because well, didn't he also escape the law? Didn't he
like
throw a
Russell
phone
had
or something?
Yeah, had a few brush-ins.
You did?
No, I said I think Russell's had
Oh.
a few brush-ins with the law.
Where's
There
that guy
are a
been
lot of
these days?
murdery things that happen in your
You
country.
know, there's a lot of murderous animals in our country.
Oh.
So there's a lot of snakes, spiders, crocodiles.
That's where you got
man-eaters,
No,
yeah.
it's the people. You're all murderers. No, I'm kidding.
We're
You're
dressed
not.
up.
And how you've harnessed it is you've opened a fitness
Exactly.
place, so you don't kill people. Instead, you just train them to death.
Exactly.
Ah.
Exactly.
That all
See how
makes
he does
sense.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, so now how does someone pick out a bad accent or a fraud?
I think that I'm guilty of this when you try and round out your R's. Because in America, you got to, because everyone's like, oh, can I have a glass of water? And then I will take me 30 minutes to explain that I'm actually thirsty and I want some water.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's a true Australian accent.
Yeah, we drop the R's and replace it with ah.
Okay.
Well, you said PETA, and I thought
PETA.
for sure you were talking
Yeah.
about Peter, but
Yeah.
like you were saying it without the R.
Yeah, and the 4.
like, no, it's-
Can I go to 44th Street? They go, what? 44. Can I
oh
go to
yeah,
44?
yeah. It
You
sounds
look so
so
uncomfortable.
awkward when you say it.
44.
And it's like I feel like Americans are screwing with you. Like my phone number, which I'm not going to finalize on the show, but it's got 3 4s in it.
Oh,
I'm like, are
fuck.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
And now
I
nobody's-
couldn't have got like a 555-333 number. Isn't it?
No.
424.
Oh
yeah.
my God! And so you have to say it like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that should help you perfect your R.
Exactly.
Okay, going back to
Yeah,
the differences, I need more differences rather than just the speed at which you do things as an Australian.
As an Australian.
And what do you think you can tell? And to piggyback on that, what do you think you can tell American men that they need to fucking do differently and stop being a bunch of dicks,
A bunch
Well-
of pansy dicks.
especially here?
Hate them.
Yeah, no, I
Call
don't.
me.
I think that's a huge generalization. But I've met a lot of great
It
American
is,
guys.
it
One of them
is.
sitting in here is
One of
amazing.
All we can do is generalize
Amazing guy.
because we have you from a different continent.
Yeah.
I think the stereotype of Australians is that we are a bit like maybe take evolution back a couple of pegs, right? So it's like we're a little closer to cavemen, and yeah, I mean you don't mind getting your hands dirty. It's a labour-intense country, so most people.
But by the
A
way,
manly
like
man
that.
right,
builds
some
things.
people find
Yeah.
that to be quite attractive.
Hey, yeah, one of them did.
Yeah.
got her, tricked her, but yeah, it's good.
I find it quite attractive as well.
Right. Like a man that does manly things. Like,
Yeah.
and listen, we're all about gender roles right now and like, no, don't have them and stuff. But like, there's something attractive to some people about the other sex that is different from us. And so, like, I don't want to go build the thing or do the stuff. I can, don't worry, I can. But I don't want to. I want you to do
People
it.
can do a lot of things. It's
Right.
nice to, I think, from an opposite sex or same sex, whatever, it'd be nice to feel protected. It'd be nice to walk down the street and not be worried about if there's some creepy weirdo came up to you. And I think that Australian culture would be to not be too worried about the circumstances or the aftermath of what happens in that situation. So, like, I would always protect my family, absolutely no matter what, and no respect for anything else other than protecting my family, protecting my loved ones, protecting your mates. And I think that that's what Australians are really loyal people, you know, like really loyal people. And I think once you're a mate, good, bad, and otherwise. And
Does that mean in relationships too or just friendships?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I would think in a relationship. I know
Yeah.
from me, I think I would say that in a relationship, you sort of, live by the sword, die by the sword. But I think that most Australians would be like that. Not saying that people,
Again, a
Don't
generalization.
stray,
yeah, but I would like to think most Australians are loyal, got integrity, and get through
They
the hard
should
times.
thank you for this promotion.
Yeah, I know.
Brought to you by Melty.
Is there an Australian dating app?
Have we just come up with the next big thing?
And it's gonna be something clever and probably offensive, like find your
Find your mate. That's not.
No,
it's too
it-
easy.
I
Fun
was
down
gonna
under,
go-
down under fun, swipe right down
Ooh,
under.
I
Come
was
down
gonna
under.
go with like
Go.
find your pouch mate or something like.
Are you a marsupial like me? No.
I'll give
Too
you a
long?
ride.
No,
Hop, hop.
Rick, not catching enough.
Be the surf to my turf. I don't know.
No, we
That's not
can't.
it?
We'll brainstorm this. But is there an Australian dating app? No.
There's not, but I
Well,
guarantee
what
there will
in
be
the
in
There
about,
is
in
not.
about 30 minutes. I guarantee there will be.
Jen, get on your laptop now and buy a domain name quick.
All of them. I thought we just came up with some really catchy ones. Like
Yes.
something about a
Yes.
marsupial. Nothing screams sex and love like marsupial.
I think that, yes. Okay,
Anything
so
with soup
speaking
in
of
it.
sex and love, no.
Wait, how did you meet your
Yes,
wife?
that's
Going
where
back
we're
to
going.
that
Here we
lady.
go. So met her
Clearly, you're very loyal to her. How'd
in
you
a
find her?
in a bar in Sydney. So yeah, worst mistake she ever did was walk into that place.
No
met me.
way. Best mistake ever. I mean, best choice ever, but she is American.
She is American.
Yeah.
She's from the East Coast. So Kerry's from New York. Her name's Kerry. Kerry. I always have
listen to the
spell
RR.
it. Yeah, RR.
Good
so
R.
that's when I get right. 2005. She was on a semester abroad in Sydney. Stumbled into a bar second day of her trip with two friends, who one of which now is the godfather to our daughter, and the other one was her ex-boyfriend. So it's still good mates. Great guy.
Yeah.
And then basically from there we dated for the next 5.5 months.
Wait, but what made you go up to her? How did this all happen? Don't skip the juicy details. How was she the one?
Here's another point of difference. American girl, God lover, independent woman came up to me. And she came into a bar. I was helping out behind the bar. It's a good friend of mine's bar. And a busy night, jumped behind there and started serving God knows what. And she came up, and at the end of the night, she wrote her number on a piece of receipt paper with a little star next to it. To this day, I still have that piece of
Isn't
receipt
that
paper
cute?
framed in our bedroom.
No.
Yeah, crazy. So then I was just thirsty AF the next day. So like 10 o'clock in the morning.
I'm glad we all use the same sayings.
Exactly,
Just
there you
even
go.
though
Yeah,
you're Australian
yeah.
and
And
we're
I
Fucking
Yeah.
love that you just said that.
There we go.
thirsty AF.
And
Carry on.
So I send her a text at like 10 a.m. the next morning. I'm like, a buddy of mine's taking a boat out. Do you want to see the harbour? So she's like,
Yeah.
I'm going to get killed. And I literally
Yeah.
think her friend's like, you do not go on. You're going to end up in pieces. Like, no way you're not going on this. But she did. And from there, 13 years later, cat, kid, and a mortgage later, here we are.
And a cat. Listen,
Yeah.
he
Cat,
has
kid, and a
cat.
mortgage. That nothing screams love like a cat, kid, and a
Commitment. Nothing
killing me.
screams commitment like a cat and a kid and a mortgage.
Those are the things.
It's the trifecta
Yeah.
of commitment.
Yeah.
Okay, so you met Carrie.
So why her?
Yeah.
Because she came up to you and you're like,
Why
that's
were you?
really
Wait, hold on.
ballsy.
Better question. Why were
Yeah.
you thirsty AF? And did you not feel like you had to play a game a little bit? Do Australian guys not do that? Again, I know we're generalizing. Maybe you in particular, but is that not a thing over there? Like play it cool?
I think the game might be the point of difference, right? And what I say by thirsty AF was that I called her so early the next day because I genuinely wanted to go out and show her around Sydney and have fun. Just get to know her a bit more. So
I like planning. That
it
sounds
was-
really nice.
Yeah, well, you're going to get to know me, and I'm the worst planner in the world. But for that day, I was great. So
When it counts. You
Right,
can
exactly.
really ring
nailed
it
it
in.
once. But yeah, and that was it. And then basically we dated for 6 months. And then she went back to college. She went to college on the East Coast. I was playing sports at the time, so I was a professional athlete then, and I still had like a year or something left on my contract. Long story short, a year later, after she had I'm sure she had a boyfriend, I think at the time, probably nice guy, I'm sure. And then I may have had a couple of girlfriends, I think, in Australia, and
A gaggle of girlfriends.
but not like nothing serious. And then meet up via London, via Cayman Islands, meet up in New York. She's there looking for an apartment to move down there, to transition out of DC down to New York. I was scrolling through on what I thought was going to be a 3-day quick flyby. Ended up staying 2 weeks, went home, retired, moved back to New York, and such is life, yeah.
Dude, okay, so you moved back to New York after 2 weeks of dating her, even though you dated her for like half a year
Yeah.
before, with the intention of continuing to see. I mean, she
Yeah.
brought you to New York, no?
No. It was
So-
kind of an accident that we,
Okay.
So sometimes don't tend
was
to
it
fate,
an
but-
accident?
Yeah, I know,
After
right?
no,
yeah.
wait though. After you
Stalker over here.
after you retired,
Yep.
and then you moved back, it was
No.
for work.
Yeah, no. Sorry, I moved back for her, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah. But the initial meetup
Yes.
in New York was almost accidental. So, it was just one of those things. It was just like we saw each other. And I know from my end, it was just like, we just got to make this work. You waste so much time on things that don't make you happy or don't, seem to work out or have a future. Like, it felt like a special feeling, so I just followed it, and it worked out all right.
A special feeling.
And you at the time had the freedom and ability to be able to do that. Do you think that, because people say timing's everything sometimes, do you think had you been at a different stage in your life, that decision would have been different?
Really good question. I like the timing is everything statement because I really believe that. I believe that in relationships more than anything. That sometimes you meet the right person, maybe not at the right time. And I think that it was kind of like a perfect storm for us, you know? It was like I was kind of getting sick of the sport I played, or sick of the ramifications of the sport I played, as far as waking up in hospital every other week and, you know, that sort of thing. I was just ready for a new chapter in life. I always wanted to travel. I was always infatuated with the American way of life. So, yeah, timing, absolutely. She did not share the same passion for Australia as I did for America. So I remember saying to her, like, we just did some corny thing. Like, we did the horse buggy ride in Central Park.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, babe, you know, move back to Australia. She goes, no way. She was like, I'm moving to New York. Like, I'm doing New York City. I'm like, okay, sweet, I'll move here then. So going back, Jen, to what you said, like what drew me to her and that special feeling, whatever, she just didn't put up with my shit, you know? She didn't let me push her over. I quickly sacrificed the dominant role in what wasn't even a relationship then. You know what I mean? But it wasn't like, because in Australia it was all about, the year was around rugby and relationships were around rugby, and it wasn't a year from January to December. It was from March to October, and you sort of spoke in those years. So it'd be November, and I'd be saying last year, but it was last season.
It was a rugby year, yeah.
Yeah, so
sounds confusing.
It was really nice to have
But everything revolved around you,
Exactly,
you're not
100%.
saying in a selfish way. You just everything
But
there.
it is selfish. When you look back at it, and I think sports and athletes, it breeds selfish behaviour.
It totally does.
You
Well,
know?
you're
Enabled,
always traveling. You like have
100%.
to live, eat, breathe. Like your
Yeah.
lifestyle is that sport because your body is your work.
And you have so many people around you enabling that
Yeah,
thought process.
absolutely.
And then you've got like girls throwing themselves on you, or men, or whoever it is, that whatever,
All
just
the
you
people.
do get looked at and put on a pedestal and treated that way. And so there's no reason. I mean, you have to be focusing on yourself and your body and your mental state all the time anyway. It's an individual sport, even if you're on a team, kind of in a way. So it's like it's sort of like you said, it just breeds that way of life.
Yeah, it is. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's not a job. It wasn't a career. It was a lifestyle, and you made it every minute of every day. So it was kind of refreshing, to be honest. When I met Kerry,
bet.
had never heard of rugby. You know what I mean? Like, definitely never heard of me. And it was nice. It was really nice. And she's so independent. She's so ridiculously smart, which was kind of opposites attract. So here we are.
Well, clearly you're smart because you have a successful business that you started in Sydney and now here, and you've got, what, 2 locations here, right?
3. Yeah.
What? Where's the
3.
other one?
Santa Monica just opened, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good place to be. So how did you decide to come up with Training Mate? I mean, the name is obviously amazing, but like, why did you transition from like rugby to fitness?
I think I sort of touched on it before. I've always been in love with the sport of rugby, and that's why I was successful at it. But I started to fall out of love with rugby, but still loved the camaraderie and all the aspects of a team game. So catching up with the guys, and that's what a mate is to me. It's there for the good times, the bad times, the okay times, the fine times, the whatever. But a mate is that person that you can always rely on. So when I transitioned out of the professional sport, I wanted to make sure that component still was very relevant in my life, and that's what Training Mate is. Kerry came up with the name. I hated the name. Hated it. She's like, what are you? You do this, you do that, you work out with your clients, you do this, you dance around. It's a Training Mate. Okay, terrible name. Absolutely terrible.
What? It's so good.
Yeah.
What were you playing around?
A bunch of
right.
marsupials.
Let me tell you about my branding expertise. I was like, pure, or I was trying to like think of the Italian name for water.
Why Italian?
Because I thought that was fancy at the time.
Oh my God.
It was called Milton Health Management at one time when I had my part. So
that sounds
killing it.
no.
Saatchi are trying to sign me for a love mark.
Oh
but
my
it's,
God.
You should definitely keep that way.
yeah, I know. The lucky thing.
Yeah.
But she's so she came up with that, and then started in 2009 in Sydney. On the shores of Sydney, end of 2009, after I got back from New York, because New York wasn't an amazing place to be at the time. And if you want to really take it back, I actually started a company called Aussie Boot Camp in Central Park.
No.
And that's really the first, if you want to be really honest, that no one really ever hears about. But it was cool.
Wait, what was that? You just like, how did you get people to meet
This was
at
before-
the tree by the pond?
Literally,
The one that
Lincoln
looked
Centre.
especially Australian.
Yeah, up at the Columbus Circus,
Yeah.
Up there, we used to meet there, and it was before social media, so
Yeah.
it was literally the guys from the team and their girlfriends or wives or whoever they knew would send an email around an office. So it was when office emailing was still cool. So I started it. I literally turned up with a backpack and we'll just work it out as we go. And the first time I did it, I think it was like 12 or 13 people. Then I'm like, this is amazing. This is great. So we did, because I used to have to practice on Tuesday and Thursday night. So I'd do it Monday morning, Monday night, Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, Friday morning, Friday night. Okay. Started with like 12 or 13 people and then 14 or 15 people. It stayed there for a little while. Before you knew it, like 3 or 4 weeks later, we had like 85 people coming in. I had to bring people in from the team to help me like run at the back, in the middle, at the front. And we'd run around Central Park and do like dips on the benches. Then we'd do walking lunges. Then we'd do burpees. Then we'd do jumping jacks. Then we'd run to the fountain, do stair runs, come back down, lunge around the fountain, come up the stairs. And always would finish with abs and core. It was a really good way to bring people together. Yeah. And we were getting people that were coming in from Wall Street. We were getting people from like big real estate developers, getting people that weren't doing anything. So everyone was coming together. And that's where the whole camaraderie and inclusiveness started. And then I went back to Sydney and started doing it, and then started working with a company, a lot of people from a company called JP Morgan, obviously a big bank. Mm-hmm. And what I started to realise what the program and process was good at was bringing together like the CEO and the first year intern, and just everyone's bum slapping each other, everyone's encouraging each other and getting into those endorphins and really just having fun together. And then West Hollywood was the first studio, 2012, 13.
Wow,
13,
was that really the first
13.
one here?
Yeah, 6.5 years, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Crazy, right?
It's just like dating. It's like you think you think that you are not in someone's league potentially, but when you come together, you're all just one, part of the team.
Same page, same plane.
Same, all of it.
All of the things. So now, you, for whatever reason, there's very attractive people that teach at this place.
Yes, it's like a job requirement.
Is there like a casting? Like, how does this work? You're like, oh, you're Australian, you're in.
And you have to be Australian, although there is a British girl.
No, that would be illegal.
I mean,
we have a lot of Americans that work there, a lot of Welsh, a lot of British.
But they're all of the instructors are all almost Australian.
You're right.
They're
but you know what? No one can pick the Welsh, the British. Like
I can. The girl, the brown-haired girl.
She's British.
Yep. She's British.
But there's so many people that will ask, and they'll be like, "Where in Australia are you from?" And the guy's from Wales. Or there's another guy from England who's like, just let it slide.
Yeah.
Like, well, for the branding's sake,
exactly.
I'm from Sydney.
Do you think that what got people coming to your workout, and you did the same type of workout in Central Park, right?
Yeah.
Like different stations and
No. That evolved. So that's the part that I created in Sydney.
Okay.
So in about 2009, that's how I started breaking up the corporate groups. So when I was getting too many people in the corporate group, they wanted to stay together and stay as a team. I split up into 3 different stations.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Lemon squeezy. Look at that. Have a date, have a high five, and maybe a little smooch.
Do you think that obviously the workout was good, but do you think that it was your personality that kept drawing them back? Because I think it's, again, just like dating, like personality and fun energy is very infectious, and
I do think that it is very specific. Like somebody might be very drawn to your personality, so they enjoy the workout because they're like, well, I like the instructor and it's really resonating with me, much like dating, the analogy you're trying to make. Like I know, for instance, I do a lot of yoga, but I don't do every yoga. Like I would not do, not all yoga is created equal, and not all instructors are, and not all facilities are. So I am very particular about the place I go at the time and the human I take class from. So I think what you're saying is like you probably charmed the pants off a bunch of people that were like, this workout's amazing, but like you're also.
Because it's a thing, Milty. Like your instructors are not, they're all their own people, but it's a thing. It's like they all have the high energy, fun, jokey, self-deprecating, like something that you might kind of like on a date. But do you think that's what Drew, did you make this a thing too?
Yeah, this is absolutely, excuse me, this is absolutely a thing. So I really thought, to get serious for a minute, I really thought this was the gap in the market. I think the fitness industry as a whole takes itself way too seriously. And I've got all the certificates, done the science stuff, and nowhere in science has it ever told us that you're going to burn more calories or get in better shape because you train as a douchebag. There is no science.
Like because you're screaming at someone.
There is no science that tells you that. You can, and I did what everyone claims. I played professional sport and argued with the toughest sport in the world. I did it. I was there day to day, hour to hour, and it's not eating raw meat, yelling and screaming. It's just not that. Like
Yeah, it doesn't.
swearing and it's just not. It's having fun, and you'll work just as hard. You don't have to
Hell yeah.
pretend you're working just as hard. I'll put our workout up against anyone. In fact, we're listed as, Bloomberg just listed us as the most consistently booked class in America, our Sydney circuit class. So, it works. ClassPass has rated us as, the #1 studio in America. Like, it works, but the culture is what brings people back.
For sure.
And the only rules, or the only, I suppose, boundaries are, it's got to be positive. Our internal monologue is to be the best part of everyone's day.
Oh, that's
it's,
nice.
Yeah, it's cool, but it's like 45 minutes, and there's so much shit going on in the world. Like, not just now, it always has, Like, you might get broken up with, you might break up with someone, you might get fired, you want to get fired, you might quit, you might break your leg, you might whatever. For those 45 minutes, you're going to have fun. And they're the four safe walls. And no matter what, it's got to be a really positive environment. And that's what fitness is to me. It's that, physical health, obviously, but anyone can tell you that, and anyone can do that for you. Honestly, there's so many good trainers, there's so many good workout studios. But the social health and the mental health, we put just as much emphasis on, and it's got to be at 33.3% each. And I think that's what we do so different to anyone else in the industry. And I think that's why we're so successful.
Yeah,
I have a really important question.
Yeah.
Obviously.
I'm already married, Jen, but sure.
Okay, so now that we know that you're taken, do you ever find that people meet in class, fall in love? Like, are there any success stories?
There's been quite a few marriages.
Really?
Quite a few marriages, yeah.
Training Mate marriages?
Apparently, I have to go.
Were
do
you
circuit training.
invited to the wedding? You need to go to this workout.
One of them
first.
I was. One of the guys actually used to work there, married one of the girls that wasn't one of the original ones. He ended up stealing money off us all, but that's fine. But probably for the wedding. But
maybe
good
for
on
the
them.
ring.
Maybe. They did well. They're married. I think they're back in Australia now. There's been 2 other marriages. There's been a million short-term relationships.
I bet.
But then, do you find if people break up, they start going to different classes, or then they have to be in different groups?
It's such a positive environment that I think that it's a really good breakup. It's kind of like, we broke up, but we're still gonna, we'll still talk about it.
We discussed sharing our workout in the divorce,
just like sharing the animal.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's
or you get Training Mate West Hollywood, you get Training Mate Valley.
That's why we keep expanding, just so we're safe. You're not going to be
smart,
in the same
really
place.
smart.
But it makes sense though, because if you're creating a safe environment for people to come, I mean, working out can be scary. Again, like dating, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel vulnerable, you feel like you're not going to be good enough, or it's going to be too hard, or there's a lot of fears attached to working out. And if you make it feel safe and fun, it's going to help break down those walls and fears. Just like that's the kind of person you need to be when you're trying to receive somebody else, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. Like, you want to be welcoming and fun and good energy. And obviously that's not going to be it all the time, but for the 45 minutes, you can maintain that.
But why can't it be it the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we just take that seriousness or that need for instant gratification out of our day-to-day routine and have a laid-back, self-deprecating approach to relationships, friendships, whatever else? It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Self-deprecation is my favorite kind of deprecation.
Yeah, it's better than But it's just, life's not that serious, and it's kind of like, and to be honest, the people that do take it that serious, I don't know if I want to hang with that much,
Right.
It's the one thing that I got to know really, and this is what LA did to me. That's why I love LA so much, because I really feel like I grew into myself in LA, and I feel like the whole Training Mate lifestyle has become my genuine lifestyle. It's like Training Mate was always an extension of my lifestyle. Now I really feel like I'm an extension of Training Mate's lifestyle. And meeting some ridiculously powerful people in LA and industry tycoons, they're just people.
Yeah,
they
totally.
just want to talk. They swear. They do things.
They're insecure too, or they hate their thighs.
100%. And it's just like,
happens.
Life's not. We don't have to pretend, because especially in a relationship, if you lead with a pretend face, you are going to get found out so quick, and then you're going to be miserable. The other person's going to be miserable.
It's exhausting to keep that up too.
You can't keep it up,
you got like a good year if you're good, and then that's it.
What is it? 50% end in divorces and stuff like that. And again,
I think it's higher. It's like 70 now.
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Also, second marriages end even more in divorce.
it's the second marriages now.
Yeah.
Because they're
my
like,
gosh.
oh, I did that
right.
already.
Right, they're like,
Yeah.
it actually wasn't so bad, and I had
Yeah.
that lawyer on standby,
Yeah.
so, you know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I just
It was
pay
easy
them
last time.
monthly.
But you're right, Loz. And look, and you mentioned a couple of things before. Number one, you've still got butterflies when Jamesy comes home, and you still
Jamesy.
Yeah, but you do. You know, it's what it's
Jamesy-
supposed to be.
Jamesy, come sit next to Milty. Come join him
Now
on
I've
the
got
couch.
butterflies.
Now, see,
You should.
But it should be that
But
way,
it should
right?
be that way, you know.
Yeah.
And again, it's not taking it so seriously, but it's enjoying each other's thing, but working on the relationship, because as you said, nothing has been like, there's no perfect relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can be on these shows and I can sit there and tell you about how great Kerry and I are
Yeah.
and how it's been this romance story of international travel and you know
Yeah.
what I mean, following
Which
each
is
other.
true, which is
100%.
true.
But I can tell you right now, we've had some of the biggest speed bumps, almost roadblocks we've had, and you get through them together and you come out stronger and you know, you sort of face tomorrow together, you know. But it's fun.
Do you work out together?
No, she thinks I'm a terrible trainer. So I remember in New York, and I'm like, drop that knee down a little bit lower. Come on, activate those good shits. Shut up, shut up, get away from me right now. I'm like, all right, done. But she'll
you're
come
too
to my
close.
classes. She loves Training Mate. But I think she frequents other people's classes more than mine.
Do you see, like, do you look and see, like, where she signs up? Like, which class she
follow
actually
her
is?
around
Like,
there.
I see
Yeah.
that you've signed up for other.
Wait a
classes.
minute,
And
what?
We're way better than that.
What, dude? I would be if I could just go. Training Mate is so fun. It's such a fun,
It is a lot of
hard workout.
Do you recommend it for a first date, or do you think it might be, like, not, like, the best look for a first date, but maybe, like, a second or third date?
Depends how comfortable you are with sweating
Yeah.
and
Okay.
being publicly
Humiliated
put on show.
potentially? They
Because
like
if I
to.
find out it's your first date at Training Mate, it's my class, I'm putting that speedo right near you.
Yeah,
Right
but
near
it's good. Take the edge off. Like
Yeah.
Milt is like the fun wingman that like could. It would be. I mean, James and I work out there all the time, and it's fun to do it. I mean, we don't work. That's like the one workout we do together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we do some other ones, but that's definitely
What do you
definitely our
mean other
favorite.
ones? Like sex?
Wait, what? No,
Mil-
wedding night.
Do
Wedding night?
you, Milty?
Not
do
until then, and we
you,
don't have a
like,
date yet,
Do
so.
you like consider
We're old
working
now.
out? Like, are you like, how many calories am I burning right now when you're making sex?
Sex is an amazing workout.
Do you like
For who, though? Like, for the one doing all the
Great
work?
question.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, movement equals energy burning, and we're going to go back. We're going to go all the way back through biology.
I haven't done it in a while. I don't remember how it works.
Well, it's always Saturday and Tuesday. So
Self-deprecation.
you're good. No, but yeah, it actually is. And if you want to just speak about it purely as a movement pattern, you move your body, that increased heat between the two bodies. I mean, absolutely, it's a good workout.
So people
Burning.
should do that. They should do the sex.
Yeah.
Safely
of it.
and yeah.
Yeah.
Safely
I don't wanna-
and-
Safety first.
Don't pull a muscle is what he means.
Yeah.
Well,
the wrong
you got to pull at least one muscle
Oh, brother.
Oh my God.
if you're doing it right.
Oh, boy.
Sounds great.
Guys.
James, you've never been to Australia, right?
I've never been to Australia. I'd love to go. It's one of my bucket list places.
Maybe you should go on your, what's it called? A honeymoon.
What?
Honeymoon.
Yeah.
Maybe
What-
we'll get married in Australia.
No, that's not happening.
And so it's
What-
Or
very
maybe an
fun.
Australian should marry you.
There you
Are
go.
you
Are you
He's
ordained?
probably
ordained?
already
I'm
ordained.
in. Hey, I heard you can get it done quick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like 10 minutes on the
online.
internet.
I'm in.
my
Everything can be done on the internet.
Melty,
Yeah.
do not. He will
I
seriously
think Training Mate's
consider.
where we really fell in
Don't
love
walk
too.
down the
so,
aisle.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, he's
There you
just
go.
trying to make it make sense.
Are you talking to me or Lauren now?
I don't know myself, really.
Why do you guys? Everybody's probably like, "Why is James here?" Well, that's I'm here because it's one of my man crushes.
Yeah,
right here.
so when
One of them.
James,
How many do you have?
Oh, I got just one.
no,
Yeah, there you go.
it's Melty.
But
I
now you
just-
sound like
it's
me
just Milton.
because I have so many.
I would go into Training Mate with James sometimes and then without, and then Milty sometimes would see me and be like, "Oh my God, your top knot is so on point right now," and I'm like, I think he says it to everybody. I don't think he knows that I'm the partner to you. I don't think he knows me. I think he only knows you, to James.
Yeah.
And I think out of context he does it, which is
You're
fine.
just
There's
top
too many.
knot.
I'm just and I it's true. Jamesy and Milty have a little bit of a connection.
It's just a fun class to be in.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
it just
is.
makes me laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
So when we were there a couple of days ago, you were making me laugh because I can't work out as hard as everybody else. Obviously, I'm not as in shape as most of the
I
people
work
in
out
class.
way harder than he does.
So I have to take a lot of breaks and breathers, and Luke will wait for me to put my hands on my knees and stop doing the workout, and you hear him go, "Jamesy, great form, keep it up, mate, beautiful form." And I'm just sitting there not exercising
eating at all.
Yeah, I'm eating. I'm about ready to pass out.
I almost threw up at our last workout, by the way.
yeah, that was a tough one.
Loz was just heating the whole place up. I had to turn the air conditioning down to 54 because they're just,
Well, obviously.
just killing it.
Yeah.
But okay, so now do you feel like if somebody's not that into fitness, it's like a deal breaker prior?
No, absolutely not. It's fitness should be whatever you want to make it about. As life should be whatever you want to make it about. You're either attracted to something or you're not. If someone is not into fitness, I would absolutely not be not attracted to them.
Like-
Kerry was not into
Really?
working out when we met.
So if you meet someone on a dating app and they have a different lifestyle than you or a very different interest or hobby or occupation, like that doesn't mean shit. Maybe eventually, once you get to know the person and things aren't meshing, it could be for other things.
Right. I mean, I think if you hate somebody's lifestyle, like I remember I was presented with somebody who like
Presented on a platter.
it happens, guys.
Yeah.
Like it lives super far, like wakes up at 4 a.m., like gets off work at like 2 p.m. and then like goes to sleep at like 9 p.m. I'm like, when
so
would
he's
I
in finance
see
in New York. We've
you?
Yeah,
got
I
that
was just
part
gonna
right
say.
there.
No,
Yeah, he's
actually in
finance.
LA.
Yeah, but he was working New York hours.
Yes, exactly. So like I can't date you. How would I see you? And what is
I
this
mean,
life you
it is a
live?
fair.
Could have
yeah.
been Prince Charming. You know what I mean?
So you think she missed?
100%, because we only compare those lifestyle things that you talk about, right? Cry me a river. He could wake up a little bit later and he could get home a little bit later. He might fall so in love with you and end up becoming a trainer or a dog walker. You know what I mean? Like we only ever
True.
put our real attention onto these characteristics that society's made us believe. Likes music, likes traveling, long walks on the beach, and
Check,
romance
check,
novel.
check.
But it's not. What about integrity? What about loyalty? What
Yeah,
about respect?
good.
What about
Yeah.
manners? What about whatever?
Good
You know what I mean?
energy,
Like,
fun,
energy,
yeah,
exactly right.
inclusive, being
Those
inclusive.
other
Yeah.
things can change. Let me tell you, the other things like values and integrity cannot.
Right. So like
let's get those
circumstantial
right.
stuff
I
can
agree.
change.
Yeah,
Like your
and-
occupation can change.
And Jen, you're such a catch that I'm sure that industry would have changed straight away just to match that lifestyle.
Thanks.
Do you
Spread the
have
word.
anybody you can think of that may want to date?
Oh, I've got a million people I can think of. I don't know if you'd like any of them.
Well, let's start this process.
It's you're going to start the Australian dating app. and
I'm
that way you can
the
jump on there.
bachelorette of the
dating
Australian
mate.
people.
Dating
mate.
Dating the mate. Or
Dating
dating
mate.
mate.
Dating mate.
Dating
Dating and mate.
Dating
Dating
mate.
mate.
One of the
Dating mate,
guys
like
at
shaking
Training
it.
Mate, we want to do, because there's 9 exercises, 45 seconds on, 15 off. I want to do 9 partners, speed dating.
Yes.
Date mate.
Yes.
45 seconds, 45 seconds, 45 seconds.
We'll
I
host it
like
for
it.
you.
How about from Melbourne to Heartburn?
Yeah, but not burn.
No.
What?
No,
But
I
I do
can't.
like how it's 45 seconds. You're right about just like getting to it.
Yeah.
Gotta do it like the Australians. Get to it.
Get to it. Be quick like an Australian. That's what we're taking from this. Don't take things too seriously.
No.
Don't take these too seriously.
No,
Just get into it.
we don't got time for that.
And go take his class because
Obviously.
it's awesome. It's so fun.
so
Right.
fun.
And
So
for
fun.
somebody like myself who doesn't work out much at all, I have a blast in there. It's great, and all the trainers.
And there's
are
a
just
beautiful
And that's
patio in
what
the
keeps
back.
you, and that's
Yeah.
what,
At least in
West
West
Hollywood.
Hollywood.
That's what keeps you coming back, right? If someone makes you feel good and you're allowed to feel good and you feel safe to feel good.
And you can laugh at yourself
Oh my
and
God.
others.
I'm laughing constantly. in
Training
there,
Mate
yeah.
is like a good date.
So training date.
So training
There
date.
you go.
There we go.
All right, Milty, thank you so much for coming in
Thanks for
and
having
talking
me.
about all of the dating and relationships from down under to LA and
All of
back.
them. All of them.
Where can everyone find you and anything that you have to look forward to? You just opened a new gym.
Yeah, we just opened a new one in Santa Monica. We're expanding across to New York, London, and San Francisco as well, which is lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, you can find me on social media. It's just Milts1, MILTS number 1, or at Training Mate.
Okay, great. And where can everyone find you, Jen?
You can find me at Jennifer Golden on all the social media platforms. Don't spell it wrong. It's 1 N 1 F Golden.
And you can find me at not Lauren on all this.
No, you
not
are
Jen.
Lauren.
Not Jen. Not
Too
well, but I'm
much
also,
beer.
But I'm also. Oh, I wish. I'm also not Lauren if I'm not Jen. Because then that
You
would be-
are Lauren.
No, but I'm not Jen. But I'm also not. I'm like
figure
my
this out
own
later.
person. I'm like my own person. That's not Lauren or Jen. But
You,
can
are
find
the
me.
person named Lauren.
Yes, you can find me at Lauren Leonelli on all the social media.
Surprise.
Not to be confused with Not Jen. And you can follow us at Complicated Show on all the social media platforms as well.
And next week, guys, you can find Casey Main, the author of I Gave Up Men for Lent, on our show right here on It's Complicated.
That's right. So tune in next week for that. And a happy upcoming St. Patrick's Day to
Oh,
everyone,
yes.
too. Drink your Australian beer and be American/Irish/ Australian.
drink. Have a
Just
good
drink.
time.
Have a good time. See you next week.
Love you long time.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.